What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Charles Oliveira is now fighting Mateusz Gamrot at UFC Rio. Charles Oliveira has a new opponent for the upcoming Fight Night card in Rio de Janeiro next month. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. Fans had anxiously been awaiting news on Oliveira's new opponent following the withdrawal of Rafael Fiziev, and although several fighters said that they wanted this fight, there had been no news. On Tuesday, Oliveira's manager shared a photo of the UK flag, the Armenian flag, and the Mexican flag via his Instagram story, fueling theories of a rematch with Arman Tsarukyan or a fight with Paddy Pimblett. Instead, only an hour later, Oliveira announced via Instagram that he will now be fighting Mateusz Gamrot, because apparently Gamrot was the only one who actually wanted to step up and fight on short notice. Hey my family, just dropping by to let you know that my new fight is out now. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for all the messages, for all the tremendous affection. That's why I want to be part of UFC Rio de Janeiro on October 11th. Opponent, Mateusz Gamrot. This is the guy we're going to battle in the Great War. The rest just wanted the hype, just wanted to stall and talk. But that's part of it. That's how it is. Mateusz Gamrot, thank you for accepting the fight. It's going to be a big war. Once Gamrot found out the fight was official, his reaction was caught on camera and shared via social media.
Się odjebało! Kurwa! Kurwa! Wow! Ja pierdolę! Kurwa! Wow! Ja pierdolę! Oh!
He'll now have a chance to pick up the biggest victory of his career on October 11th, as both he and Oliveira look to move one step closer to a crack at Ilia Topuria's lightweight title. Last night, Rafael Fiziev revealed the reason for withdrawing from the Charles Oliveira fight. He posted a video on social media revealing that he hurt his knee, but it doesn't require surgery. However, since that knee already had a couple surgeries, he didn't want to take the risk. This is what he had to say.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Yeah, many people asking me what happened with me, why I'm out from the fight. I injured my knee again. But alhamdulillah, no need to do surgery. But I cannot push 100%, I cannot work, cannot wrestle, cannot sparring. And yeah, have to heal up right now. Couple months and come back to the fight. Guys, I wish to fight in Brazil. This is my dream fight. But I already have couple surgery in my knee, and it's big risk to going with my knee. It's my injured knee right now to fight, so it's a big risk. Third surgery in the same knee, that's not good. Have to heal up, guys.
Paddy Pimblett calls out Ilia Topuria in Spain. After Ilia Topuria knocked out Charles Oliveira to win the lightweight title, he welcomed Paddy Pimblett into the octagon for an impromptu stare-down. Since then, there's been no news on the potential fight between the two, with fans left to wonder whether Pimblett will wind up getting the next crack at the title given his long-standing beef with Topuria. During a recent appearance on El Doberden's YouTube channel, Pimblett took some shots at the champ. I think Ilia had the easiest road to the belt. He had to beat Josh Emmett to get a title shot. Who did he beat? Ryan Hall, Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell? That was one of the easiest routes I've ever seen to a title shot. Michael Chandler would beat all of the people he fought before he fought Volk, and he wouldn't have beat Volk if Volk wasn't knocked out like 8 weeks earlier, 12 weeks earlier. Everything's happened at the right time for Topuria, apart from when he fights me. If I didn't have to have these little times off, these intervals, and I had the easy route to the belt like he did, I would have been champion by now. Pimblett also called Topuria out for a fight in Spain, bringing football beef between Liverpool and Real Madrid to MMA.
I want to fight Ilia, whenever, wherever. I'd love to come to Bernabeu and punch your face in. know what I mean? Do it in Spain in front of your fake countrymen because you're really German, know what I mean? I'd love to come and punch your face in front of 90,000 people in the Bernabeu in enemy territory for me because the Bernabeu's a hole.
So far, Topuria has yet to weigh in on the situation. However, based on everything he said after winning the title, he'd love to get his hands on Pimblett inside the octagon. Brendan Allen not worried about Reinier de Ridder's grappling. Reinier de Ridder has been touted as possibly the only man at 185 who poses a threat to Khamzat Chimaev's reign. However, ahead of their short-notice UFC Fight Night Vancouver headliner next month, Brendan Allen isn't too worried about RDR's grappling. In a video he shared on Instagram, Allen explains why he's not worried about RDR's grappling ahead of the fight. I think I'll break him because I'm better everywhere. I don't think he can strike better than me. I don't think he's tougher than me. I don't think his grappling is better than me. A lot of guys are scared of his grappling. I'm not scared at all. He's pretty tough for a little while. But again, I don't think he's fought anyone like me. I think Whittaker's kind of washed, to be honest. He's never fought a young, hungry guy like me that's just as big as him. I have a lot of respect for him for not hiding behind his number. He didn't have to take this fight. Big respect to him. To date, RDR has never lost at 185, with his only 2 career losses at the hands of Anatoly Malikin coming at 225 and 205. Whether Allen can pull off an upset and fast-track his way to a crack at the title, only time will tell. Daniel Cormier talks about huge controversy. While Daniel Cormier has an epic list of highlights from throughout his career, one of DC's most infamous moments was his UFC 210 Towelgate incident. At the time, DC was preparing to step into the octagon with Anthony Johnson. However, on his first weigh-in attempt, DC came in overweight. Instead of disappearing to cut more weight, DC then wound up coming back out and weighing in again just moments later, this time with his hands draped over the privacy towel. Miraculously, despite not taking the time to cut more weight, DC managed to hit the 205 mark. During an appearance on Aljamain Sterling's YouTube channel this week, DC dished on the situation, blaming the whole thing on Luke Rockhold. I tried to quit. I was hurting bad. I was like, yo, this is a bad one. And guess whose fault it was? Luke Rockhold's. I'm at Buffalo University running, but I was in front of this shed. You know those barn doors where you roll them up? Those shed doors? It's like a metal door, and it was so cold. So I had this draft coming in as I'm on the treadmill. Bro, I'm losing the weight, and it's coming off, but it's harder. So I'm like 5 over, and I tell Luke Rockhold I should probably get 2 more pounds off before I leave. Luke had a girl lined up. He wants nothing more than to leave the gym, so he convinces me. And it's not hard because I'm feeling like I'm feeling. I want someone to tell me to go. And everybody's like, no, you gotta lose more weight. And I look at Luke and he's like, he's fine, let him go. I'm like, yo, we should listen to Luke. And so I listened to that moron and I left. That's what happened, bro. I hope whoever it was worth it to Luke, because then I had to have the most embarrassing moment of my career. While the moment was highly controversial at the time, it's led to a lot of laughs ever since. Dominick Reyes talks about ideal scenario for Jiri Prochazka rematch. After losing a controversial decision to John Jones on the UFC 247 card, Dominick Reyes went on a 3-fight skid that saw him get finished by Jan Blachowicz, Jiri Prochazka, and Ryan Spann. Since then, Reyes has bounced back with a 3-fight win streak, and ahead of his upcoming fight with Carlos Ulberg down under this weekend, the former title challenger is eager to avenge his highlight reel knockout loss to Jiri Prochazka. During an interview with MMA Junkie this week, ahead of the September 26 Fight Week press conference at RAC Arena, Reyes laid out his ideal scenario for a rematch. I'm having my son in December, so best case Alex wins. He's a good friend of mine. I want him to win, and then they rematch with Jiri and Jiri wins. And then I rematch Jiri at the White House. USA, baby, let's go. I'm a big patriot. That would be a dream come true. The rematch with Jiri, that's the fight. I don't really want to fight Alex because he's my friend. I'll fight him, but I really don't want to. Ankalaev, I'll fight the guy, whatever. Same with Khalil. It's like whatever. I have no history. Or I want to get that back kind of deal. The Jiri fight was a great fight while it lasted. I think we do it again. It'll be another amazing fight. And I've got nothing but respect for Jiri. All I know is I've been laser beam focused on this fight. And that's all I'm really worried about, to be honest with you. With a win over number 3 ranked Ulberg, Reyes could put himself on the shortlist for a crack at the title. The opportunity may go to whoever has the more impressive win, the Reyes-Ulberg winner or the Prochazka-Roundtree winner. Darren Till talks about UFC's horrible decision. Up until the UFC's deal with Reebok in 2014, fighters were allowed to secure their own sponsorships and then rep their sponsors on fight night by putting their logos on fight shorts. That all changed with the UFC's Reebok uniform deal, and at the time, it was a pretty hot topic for debate because many fighters relied on those sponsorship deals to supplement their pay. During a recent appearance on Demetrius Johnson's Mighty Cast, Darren Till, who fought for the UFC before and after the big switch, weighed in. I don't like to slander Dana too much, he gets a lot of heat, but obviously I have to be a truthful guy as well. I always stand on business with what I believe in as well. But even when you're in the UFC, it's like, we're going to take away your sponsorship now. We're going to put Venom in there or Reebok. I was like, what the is going on now? So now the fighters aren't even making money outside of it. It was actually quite cruel, some of it. It was cruel. That sort of stuff, 10 plus 10, and then your fight's set in stone. All that. That does not. For me now, I couldn't be loving life more, I'll be honest. I just made a ton of money. While the UFC still lets fighters sign sponsorship deals outside of the octagon, by not allowing fighters to put sponsors on their shorts, the amount fighters can make winds up being significantly less. Even though it's been more than 10 years, it's clear that fighters who got to compete in the UFC before the Reebok era are still salty about the change. Matt Brown not happy with Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler on UFC White House. Fight fans are still hesitant to buy into talk of Conor McGregor potentially returning on the White House card next summer. However, the way Matt Brown sees things, even if the fight does happen, the only thing it's good for is selling tickets. With McGregor no longer interested in fighting regularly and Chandler sitting at just 2-5 in the UFC, both fighters are well outside of title contention, making the fight pretty irrelevant in Brown's eyes. During the most recent episode of The Fighter vs. the Writer, he weighed in. I guess the thing with Conor is it going to draw the interest that we think it would? We would all talk about it, him fighting. But Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor is a completely irrelevant fight, right? There's no relevance whatsoever. Does nothing other than, I guess, sell tickets, maybe? Being that it is probably a once-in-a-lifetime thing that will ever happen, they're probably going to go the spectacle route. They want it to be the biggest, most memorable card in history, and I think that I'm okay with that. The fact that Conor got the UFC to where it is, you've got to give respect where it's due. Again, for us, it's not going to excite me. I don't care to watch Conor and Chandler fight. It's not that great to me, honestly. While Chandler believes that he'll be fighting McGregor on the card, it sounds like fans aren't going to believe McGregor is actually returning until he's inside the octagon. Chael Sonnen says no one asked for Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira rematch. The UFC's unwritten rule essentially says that more times than not, champions who defend their titles multiple times get immediate rematches when they lose. According to Chael Sonnen, however, there was no one asking for a rematch between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira after their UFC 313 fight. During a recent video for his YouTube channel, he weighed in.
The first fight wasn't asked for. The first time that these guys fought us, because we found ourselves in a situation where there was just nowhere else to go. And believe me, we tried everything. We tried to get Reyes to derail the train. We brought Khalil in as the number 8 guy, and we did everything we could to not make the fight. Okay, finally we got to make the fight. Well, now we're remaking the fight, the same fight that nobody asked for, including the athletes that are involved in the fight. I can't imagine, I just can't, that we would then go to a part 3. And if Pereira wins, it would seem as though we have to go to a part 3.
While a Pereira win may lead to a trilogy fight, considering how long it took for Ankalaev to get a title fight, Pereira's first title fight may not be an immediate trilogy fight. Alex Pereira facing major backlash. Alex Pereira released a new video where he called out Magomed Ankalaev for running from him at the UFC PI. He even went as far as to say Magomed is in his words, a champion. In the clip, Alex says, "Something funny happened just now when I was leaving the PI. I saw Ankalaev's coach there. I stayed to myself. I didn't see Ankalaev there. When I left the PI, when I got to the car, someone from his team was still inside, and he heard the girl from the PI say to Ankalaev, 'He can come now. He's already left.' They hid the guy in the little room, man. This guy thinks I'm going to run into him and start fighting. Do I look stupid, bro? The fact that the guy hides in a room because I'm in the same place as him? Ah, man, he's a chump. He's a chump. I'll keep to myself, you know. I'll never pick a fight with the guy, never start something. Of course, unless he comes at me. I have to defend myself too. But what kind of champion is that man? An champion. I know that's harsh, but he's a champion, man, a guy like that. And you know why? Not because of what he says, but hiding in a room today. He's shown he's a coward, man. We'll see. Hiding now, we'll be in the cage locked in there. Unless he jumps the fence. He's a champion, this guy, Shama." Pereira received backlash from the MMA community due to his statement, claiming that Ankalaev has already shown he isn't afraid of Alex. They said this, "I'm a Poatan fan, but didn't he lose to Magomed? I'd understand him saying this, but you were already locked in a cage with him and threw about 4 punches. Alex Pereira has some nerve. He ran from Ankalaev for years, holding the belt hostage. Pereira made up lies and did everything in his power not to fight Ank because he knew it was his toughest challenge. He finally fights him and gets dominated, and now has the audacity to say this? Alex threw 11 significant strikes to head. Love Alex, but he's gotta just be selling the fight, cause this is just dumb. There's weigh-ins and all this other stuff. Ankalaev is probably focused on the fight and not random confrontations. Alex is not taking his loss well at all. I mean, dude is beloved by fans. He should just stop this nonsense before he buries the respect he's held to. Alex is getting slept. LMAO, drop the tough guy act. You had 25 minutes and did nothing but run. Alex wanted to have a fake confrontation for the cameras apparently, but since Ank doesn't have time for drama, he's the chump somehow. This is getting embarrassing now. Did this brother forget he was literally hiding from Ankalaev for over a year and now hid from the rematch for 7 months? Rematch could have happened in June, but he was too scared. Do you agree with the backlash, or do you think it was an off night for Alex back at UFC 313, and this time he will prove the doubters wrong? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.